Welcome to the Audible Genius Studio. I'm going to give you a quick overview just to show you where all the core functionality is. We can add tracks at the top left. You got drums, bass, chords, and melody tracks. Let's add a drums track, and let's add a bass track. For each track, you'll see what they call a piano roll, which is just a grid where you can add and edit notes. You'll see a piano rolls in all the major DAWs, and you just click in. Let's do drums first. Each row represents a different drum. So let's make a really basic beat. And then we'll add some bass notes as well. Hit the space bar to play back what you've written, or hit the play button down here. Right? And you can move notes around, change their duration, double click to delete, or just click and then hit the delete key if you want to get rid of them. There are more mouse modes up here. Check out our piano roll help video to learn more about those. Now, by default, when I hit play, it'll start from the beginning, go all the way to the end, and then it'll loop back and start over again. But you can change that loop. Let's say I want it to end right here at the first measure. Nice. So that's just repeating the first measure over and over again. Now, one nice thing about the Audible Genius Studio is you can edit multiple tracks at the same time. Like as you can see here, I can go back and forth between drums and bass really easily. I can see their notes at the same time. With other DAWs, you typically can only see the piano roll for one track at a time. But, there's many cases where it's important. You need to go back and forth between two tracks because of how they interact with each other. For example, the rhythm of your bass and kick, those two need to work really well together. They create a strong rhythmic foundation. So it's nice to be able to go back and forth really easily between the tracks and edit them at the same time. But if you need to zoom in on a track, maybe you're using more than two tracks, a smaller screen, things are getting cramped, just hit this zoom button. It'll expand the track to the whole window. And then you can disable a track anytime by turning it off. Now, you can change the sound of a track, go into the track settings by hitting this gear icon, and you'll see all the presets here. So this bass track obviously has a bunch of bass presets. Each track will have its own set of presets. And there's more you can do with these presets as well. Check out our track sounds help video to learn more. In this track setting at the bottom, we can also delete the track as well. Top right, this arrow button, DAW settings. We can turn our metronome on and off. We can change our tempo, change the number of bars. And there's a few other settings that we go over in the piano roll help video. Session menu, new session, load a session, save this session, delete this session. You can also export your song as an audio file or as MIDI files. You get a MIDI file for each individual track, which is great for then importing into another DAW. And if you're interested in watching some more help videos, just go into the big menu here and click Studio Help Videos. And we'll be adding more features to this studio over time. So if there's anything you'd like to see in the Audible Genius Studio, just comment below. And if you want to learn how to actually write these tracks, right? How to write a drum pattern, how to write a bass line, chord progression, or melody, check out our online course, Building Blocks. It's a video game style training course in which you write drum patterns, bass lines, chord progressions, and melodies. It all takes place in this DAW where you create music as you go. And it's a seamless combination of music theory, composition, and ear training, but it's all specifically built for DAW musicians. So you won't see like the traditional music staff or anything like that. It's very relevant. It's also really fun. Just go to audible-genius.com/building-blocks, or if you're in the studio, click the Building Blocks link up here at the top right.